Detecting a magnet ball. Alright, so in LabVIEW we want to get a read magnet sensor block. So go into the Hitechnic palette, grab Hitechnic read, and then set it for the magnetic sensor. You can read about the magnetic sensor and its options by pressing Command-Shift-H. You can see that it needs a port, an offset value, which we will talk about more in a little bit, and also a magnet value. Go ahead and create a constant for the port information. I'm using port 1, so that'll work out just fine. When we use the read magnetic sensor, there's two cases. One where the magnet is near it, and one when there's no magnet present. Even when there's no magnet present, we need to figure out what numbers or what range the magnet sensor is returning. We'll find this normal state by reading the magnet sensor over and over. We will then add all those values together and find the average for the normal state. Grab a for loop, and let's say we want to check the magnet sensor, let's say 50 times. So you give the n 50. The for loop is really good for doing something a certain number of times. Each time we take a reading, we want to add it up. We start with 0. Wire it into the for loop and change it to a shift register. A shift register will allow us to pass this information through the loop. Alright, every time we take a magnet reading, we're going to take that number and add it to the sum. And then we'll take that sum and we'll pass it out. And we'll keep doing this over and over 50 times. I included a wait block so that we can wait a little bit between each reading. We don't want to tax the computer or the NXT by running in a very tight loop, not giving it any chance to break and do other tasks. To find the mean, after we found the sum of all those readings, we divide it by 50. And just to indicate that we've finished finding the mean, I'm going to have the program beep. Then we'll know that it's finished. Alright, now that we have the mean, I want to have another loop. This one to allow me to read or sense magnet balls over and over. I'm going to use a while loop this time because I don't want it to run for a certain amount of times. I want it to run until a certain condition is met. Grab a new read magnetic sensor block, wire in the port. You may need to disable the indexing from the for loop. Now the offset that we talked about before is going to be the mean, the average value that we usually get. And so now our readings are going to be based around that offset, and we could be above it or below it. So we're going to take the absolute value of any readings that come out and see if it goes over a certain threshold or goes over a certain difference. You may need to play with this number some. I'm going to try out 10 and see if it works. So if the difference over the typical average is a certain amount, then we want it to do something. To have it do something when there is a magnet ball and not when there is no magnet ball, we're going to use a case statement and feed the value of the greater than or equal to into it. So if it's true, there is a magnet ball, we will do something, and if it's false, we will do nothing. For this example, let's just light a lamp if a magnet ball is sensed. I need a block to turn the lamp on, a wait block so that it doesn't turn off right away, and then a block to turn off the light. You may also want to put a wait block in your while loop so it doesn't work all the time continuously. Alright, let's test it. Remember, for the first 5 seconds, it's going to find the average. And now here is a ball that has no magnet. The lamp does not light up. Here is a magnet ball. You can see it lights up. You need to be pretty close to the magnet sensor for it to work.